must bring down this speaker. He was amazing. I'm in New York and I listened to him and you have to get him. I'm like, oh yeah, have you contacted? He's at the tail end of a tour in New York, in the United States, and he made a lot of accommodations to make sure that you come to Santa Fe. I told him it's a beautiful Santa Fe. It's also India Market Weekend. We have a beautiful place for you to stay. And he convinced him to come for Shabbat, and he's going to be here for the whole Shabbat. And we've had a very nice rapport the few hours he was here. I also want to thank our sponsors, Jeffrey and Ronnie Cruz. Thank you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey Christina Krenzel, thank you. And Loretta Torres and Lee Levin. And a special thanks to Ed and Ava Brown, and to Steve and Jane Hochberg for helping sponsor this thing. Thank you, Lee Levin, for helping sponsor this as well. Nehemia is here, he'll tell you a story. He was in the midst of course, October 7th, a difficult time, and will share his experience from there going forward. Take it away.
So excited to be here. I never knew I'll be in New Mexico. And I never knew there's any Jews in New Mexico. But I'm happy to see a big crowd here. My name is Nehemia Danzig. I'm 27. I had a birthday 2 weeks ago. And thank you. And I was a company commander in the IDF. I finished 7 years of service 4 months ago. I'm still in service now. I took a half a year of break before I go back to service. Yeah, I live in Yerushalayim. My dad is from America, that's why I speak, my English is okay. He was born in Montclair, New Jersey. My mom is from Holland. They both did Aliyah to Israel, and I'm a fourth brother out of 8. Big family. So, I'm going to share the story of me and my men from my point of view. So, 2 years ago, I started my position. Before I started my position of a company commander, before you get your responsibility for 120 soldiers, you get a 4-month training. It's a company commander training. And 4 months is not enough. In America, the American Army, you could maybe say, but training for a company commander is a year or 2 years, or it's more serious. In Israel, everything goes fast. And one of the things that my dad told me is before you start a new position, you have to read a lot of books. Read books, get experience, see what other people experienced. I'm not the first company commander in the Army. So I read a bunch of books, and one of the books I read, this guy said, this American commander, that when you train soldiers, you always have to give a goal. So the first thing I said when I met my men, I told them, listen, we're in a very difficult time. We might have a war soon, and in my opinion, we're going to have a war in September 22. The way we train in the Israeli army, is every time we train for 4 months, and we go step by step. It goes slowly. In the first week, we only practice 1 soldier. The second week, we practice a group of 4, and then 8, and then 12. In the last week of training, we have a week called a war week. What is a war week? A war week is a week that we're training war. We want to make sure we're really ready for the war. And we do a whole week out in the fields. It's supposed to be similar. Nothing is similar to real war. But we're trying to make the soldiers work hard for that week, and we're practicing. And our week was supposed to start in October 7th. The week before that week, we have a whole week that we just make ourselves ready for the war week. It means we go and we look at all our equipment and our guns and our stuff and our bullets and our batteries and our food and see that we're ready. It's a whole week that we just make ourselves ready. And Shabbat, October 7th, Chag Simchat Torah, in Motzei Shabbat, in the end of Shabbat, we were supposed to start our week. So, Thursday, October 5, Thursday night, something called Company Command Order. I go by myself, all my soldiers, I have 120, They put all their equipment on the floor, they make it ready, they clean it, and I go every soldier, takes me like 4 or 5 hours, and I check that every soldier is ready for the week of war. It's just a training. We don't really know war is going to happen, but we're getting ready. That's what we do. We always get ready, we get ready. That's why I get paid. And in the end of Thursday night, like 10 o'clock at night, I tell my soldiers, listen, you guys were great, did a great job, we're all ready, and because we're doing Shabbat together in the base, I have nothing else to give them, so I told them, I'll give you a free day. It's very rare, they're very young soldiers, they never get a day off, it doesn't work like that. But I gave them a day off, I gave them a bus, I say go to the beach, come back until Shabbat, before Shabbat. Israeli army is not religious, but it's Jewish, and in Shabbat, we don't do anything. We don't practice in Shabbat, we don't train, we get a day off. And that's what they do, they're so happy, they go to the beach, they come back on Friday before Shabbat, and we have a little Shabbat dinner together. I'm a company commander, I have 120 soldiers, but in my unit, paratrooper unit, 890, we have 700 soldiers. It's five companies. So we're all together doing our Shabbat dinner on October 6th in the base. We're in a base called Nebi Musa, it's far away, it's like here, it's like New Mexico, just in the desert. It's far from everywhere. And we're, because soldiers have a day off, so they sleep in Shabbat, so they go to sleep very late. That's what we do. We play ball from 10, 11 in the morning, and at night we play till 2, 3 in the morning, and then we go to sleep, and people wake up late because they can sleep in. So we're all happy, and that we had a great night, and my soldiers are very excited. It's their first time they have a week of war, what we call. I already had it a couple of times, so I'm not so excited, but it's the first time for me as a company commander, so I'm also getting ready. I also made my equipment. And then we go to sleep. In the morning, October 7th, I wake up at 7 o'clock from a phone call. And because I told you in Shabbat we don't work in the army, this officer is calling me. I'm like, what a jerk. Why is he calling me at 7 in the morning? I want to sleep. So I don't answer. I'm like half sleeping, And then he calls again. I don't answer again. After a couple minutes, I get another phone call from a religious officer from my unit. When a religious guy calls me in Shabbat, I understand something else. I have to answer this guy, even though I want to sleep. So I answer the phone, and he says, listen, Nehemia, there's some trouble going down in the south. We don't know exactly what, but you have to be ready. Wake up your men, make your equipment ready, and just wait for orders. No problem. I wake up, I don't understand what's going on. I open my telegram, and then I see, I guess every Jew in the whole world remembers the exact moment, where he was, who told him, and what is the first image he saw from October 7th. October 7th is a day change in the world. I remember exactly when I opened my phone, I saw this video of a white pickup truck driving in Sderot, famous video, and I said to myself, as an officer that used to serve in the Gaza border for years, this is very, very rare. This is not like one occasion, it's not a small thing, this is something big. If we have a pickup truck driving in Sderot. I wake up my men, I tell them, listen, I don't know what's happening exactly, but we're getting ready for whatever we got, whatever mission we get, and we have all our equipment again. We take us half an hour, 1 hour, and we're all ready. Everyone works very fast, and then I tell my soldiers, everyone should text his mother or father, whatever you want, and in 10 minutes from now, you should all give me your phones. I take all their phones and put it in my office, because in these kinds of situations, you want people to be focused on the mission and not focused on the phone. Because in the phone they're going to see horrors, and the phones are going to get they're going to get phone calls from their girlfriend, crying, hysterical, mother, whatever. And so everyone does it. They all send a text to their parents, give me their phones, and 8:30 in the morning, I call my commander. Can you hear me? 8:30 in the morning, I call my commander. I tell him, Yoni, I'm ready. Tell me what to do. Where do we go? What do I do? So he says, I'm happy you're ready, but we only have buses in 10:30 in the morning. And we're a 2-hour drive. And I know the army, I'm a long time in the army, that's how life works. Till the buses come, it takes time, you have to wake up the bus drivers, and it's a whole thing. But I didn't understand yet how the situation is bad, so I said, okay, we'll wait. After a couple minutes, I started getting phone calls. My last position, before, I was a commander in officer schools. And when you're commander in officer schools, and I was a teacher actually, and you have soldiers from all the units. So I have soldiers, they used to be my soldiers, and they're now officers down at the border. They're calling me on the phone. And they're saying to me, Nehemia, listen, we're in terrible trouble. We're surrounded. They're starting to say all these stuff that it takes time until you really understand what's going on. And he said, we need help. We need rescue. So I called my commander, and I said, listen, my soldiers are going to wait for the buses, but I have my own truck, I have a car. I'll go in my car, I'll bring 3 soldiers. I always have 3 soldiers with me. Like my bodyguards, they always help me. I'll put them in my truck, and we go down to do what we could do. So he says, okay. I come to my deputy. I tell him, listen, I'm going. You're in charge. The moment the buses come, you should put all the soldiers in the bus, drive down to the south, and call me. We'll meet. Sorry, it's hard. So that's what we do. And we drive. I drive. It's a 2-hour drive. It takes me like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We just drive like crazy. And we understand we have to get there. And on the way, I'm getting a phone call on the way from this officer girl I know, and she tells me, listen, she's a little hysterical, and she says, listen, we have terrorists capturing villages, kibbutzim, and the worst place is Kfar Aza. That's what she says. The worst place is Kfar Aza. Just to understand, in that day, army collapsed. Everybody understands that. Probably a lot of questions about it. I don't know if there's any good answer why. I could try to answer afterwards. But there's no orders. Nothing is going like it's supposed to do. Everyone who came down to the Gaza border, he just did what he understood in the same moment. This woman, she's not my commander, I don't really know her. She got my number, she knew I'm on the way. She told me, go to Kfar Aza. There's a lot of terrorists in Kfar Aza. So I go to Kfar Aza. It's all by instinct, it's not by specific orders. So we go to Kfar Aza, we stop in the entrance, talking about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we stop in the entrance of the car before. The car is very dangerous. If they hit the car, we're all in trouble. So we left our car, we went inside by foot, and if I would ask you guys, imagine how does it sound October 7, 10 o'clock in the morning in Kfar Aza. What are the sounds you hear?
Quiet.
So that's a good answer. But probably what I imagined, I'm going to hear shootings, I'm going to hear bombs, people screaming, people running, like it's the whole 10 o'clock in the morning, just one silence. We enter into the kibbutz, and just nothing going on. I don't hear anyone, I don't see anything. And the reason is because in 10 o'clock in the morning, the war was over. War was over. There were a couple soldiers in 7 o'clock, they were killed. Some other soldiers came in 8, they were killed. That's it. I didn't know that, no one told me. No one told anyone anything. No one knew anything. Everything what I knew is from Telegram and WhatsApp. So I go in the kibbutz, and we go slowly. We start searching. We hide behind the trees, go very slowly, and then suddenly we see this. I'm going to see an image that is a little bit hard to see, but I think it's a very important picture. So I'm walking in between the bushes, and suddenly I see two Israeli soldiers wounded on the floor. I come up to them, I check if they're alive, and they're alive, they're breathing, they can't really talk. One of them is saying, water, give me water. I give him water, and I ask him, who are you, when did you get, explain to me what's going on, because I just got here now. And he says very slowly and simply, he says, listen, we're from Sayeret Matkal. We're Sayeret Matkal is the most elite unit in the army. We came here at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 of us, and I don't know what happened, but when we entered, we saw there was dozens of mechablim, of terrorists, and I don't know what happened, I'm just on the floor for 2 hours now. I don't know how, I don't remember anything, and we're lying here for 2 hours, waiting for help, and no one knows we're here, and we need a rescue. And he's asking for water, so this is me giving him the water. I don't know who took the picture, but after we gave them water, we put them on our back, and we walked back to the entrance of the kibbutz. I put them in my truck. My driver drove them to Soroka Hospital, and both of these guys survived. It took them a year and a half of recovering. They both have 2 legs and 2 hands, but it took them a very long process of recovering. But Baruch Hashem, they're in good shape. So this is the first image I saw. When I go in the way, I already saw some burned cars. You saw some stuff, but the first thing I remember is to see both of these guys. And when I saw them, the first thing I thought is about this, and I'll explain. This is my mother and her wedding day, and that's my great-grandmother. Her name is Carolina. Carolina was born in Holland, and Carolina was a Holocaust survivor. Carolina got married a little bit before the war, and when the war started, it took a little bit of time until the Nazis got to Holland. But when the Nazis got to Holland, my great-grandfather, Asher, had a very good friend, a non-Jewish friend, a Christian friend, that knew the Nazis were coming for the Jews. He took my great-grandmother and her husband, and he hid them in a special bunker in the forest next to their house. I don't know exactly if he built it or he found it, whatever, and he put them there. And every morning, he used to cook and bring food and risk his life every day. He gave them food, and my great-grandmother gave birth twice in the bunker. I'm talking about a bunker of 4 and 2 meters. And there were 2 couples there. There were 4 people in a 4 meter and 2 meters for a month there. And every time she gave birth, he used to come. He took the baby, he went to Amsterdam, he gave it to a Christian family. And after the war, after she survived the war, she got it back. Why am I talking about my great-grandmother? Because I grew up on a Holocaust survivor family. A lot of people feel the same. But I remember, before she passed away, Carolina, she used to come. Every time she used to come to Israel to the events. All the happy events, bar mitzvah, brit, all the time, more and more. And every time she came, she had a very big smile. You could see her smile here on her face. And she was saying, we're winning. We're winning because I was in the Holocaust, and now I have 45 grandsons and 60 great-grandsons, and it goes on and on. And in the moment I see an image of 2 broken soldiers from our elite unit on the floor, broken, they can't even talk. the first thing I think about is never again. So, we took most of the soldiers. We took them to my driver took them to the hospital, and we're standing at the entrance of the kibbutz, and I'm thinking what to do. Like, what's the right thing to do now? My driver left with the car, so I'm just me and two men by ourselves in the entrance of the kibbutz. Big chance if I go in, I'll get killed. But like, I was just thinking, like a couple minutes standing there and just thinking what to do. And the main thing I'm thinking about all the time is my men. I have 120 men. That's my position. That's my responsibility. I can't just run around by myself. I want these guys to come. And I'm calling my deputy, and he says, we're waiting. There's not buses anymore. Buses aren't going to come, but we're going to get helicopters. These are my men, waiting, excited. When we imagine soldiers, so we imagine like heroes, strong guys, whatever, tough kids. These are kids, 18-year-old. Everyone could imagine what is an 18-year-old in the US, just starting college or whatever. These are kids. They're standing here, they're pretty excited. They're excited, they don't know what's going on. They don't know where I am. They don't know what I saw. And they don't know where they're going, but they're excited. It's the first time, the helicopter takes them for a mission. And I'm standing in the entrance, and suddenly comes a police truck. Police truck stops next to me, and out of the truck, I see a window opens. I see the whole truck is full of bullets, and stands a policeman, like 40 years old, 50 years old, crying and saying, "Listen, soldier. In the other side of kibbutz Kfar Aza, there is a young neighborhood called Dot Zair. The young neighborhood where all the youngsters live there." And he said, I was driving there and I just saw terrorists are just murdering and kidnapping people. And he says, kids. And until then, I never even thought about it. I mean, I know that Hamas kidnapped people, and I grew on Gilad Shalit, and we were happy when he was back, it was a whole thing. But I never even after what I saw in Kfar Aza, I didn't think in that way that this terror organization is kidnapping kids. The first time that I thought about it in that way. And he said, you have to come and help me, I can't do it by myself. And I'm looking at my soldiers, and they're like a little scared. And I'm also a little scared, but just when the way he said it, they're killing kids. Like, we're Army, we're IDF. Our lives is less important than the civilians. That's our mission. I can't let them stay like that. So we go in the car, I go in his car, we drive in the kibbutz, and a little bit before the neighborhood we stop, we go out, we go behind the tree, and then I see, it's a crazy scene. We see a big bunch of terrorists, a lot of them, talking about 80, 90, whatever, and they're just walking around. They're not fighting. War was over at 8 o'clock, talking about 11 now. They're not fighting. Their guns are on the back, and they're just walking around, stealing stuff, and burning houses. That's what they do. Just barbarians. And they're so happy, they're all on drugs, wanted to say. And they're so happy with what they did because they were shocked. They actually captured the place. They don't know what to do now. Just walking around and doing crazy stuff. And then I got reminded another book I read. A book of an Israeli officer called Chico Tamir. And he wrote that if you get to a situation where the enemy is more than you, way more than you, you can't fight him. You're not going to win. It doesn't matter how strong you are. But the best solution in this case, it's called in Hebrew Ma'arav Kochav, is to do an ambush. What does it mean? Instead of you doing any mistakes and getting shot by the enemy, you have to ambush him. Let him do the mistakes. So what we do is, I'm just me and two more soldiers, we're just three. I put every soldier in a bush. One soldier, I put him to aim with a hole in the fence. The Hamas did a hole in the fence, and people from Kfar Aza that were kidnapped weren't kidnapped with a car. They were kidnapped by walking. They took them and they made them walk from the hole in the fence where they passed. They just walked to Gaza. And I put one soldier, I told him, you are aiming to the fence. If you see anyone coming in, you shoot him. If you see anyone going out, you shoot them. No one's going to pass this fence anymore. The second soldier, I put him to aim, the second soldier, I put him to aim to the neighborhood where we saw the terrorists. And then I tell them like this, now we're not going to move, we're not going to talk, we're not going to make any noise. And if anyone sees a terrorist, you shoot one bullet. Why one bullet? First of all, we don't have a lot of bullets, we're just 3. Secondly, if you shoot one bullet, they will never know where you shot from. If you shoot 4 or 5, 6 bullets, so they can hear the area where it comes from. So I woke up in my pajamas at 7 in the morning, and 11:30, I'm lying in a bush in Israel, in a kibbutz in Israel, surrounded. I didn't eat yet. I have no water anymore. My phone battery died because I didn't charge it at night, and no one knows where I am. That's the situation, 11 o'clock in the morning. We're trying to help, we're trying to do our best. We're just 3. I have 120 men waiting for the helicopters, and that's what we do. After 10 minutes of waiting, 15 minutes of waiting, suddenly we see a terrorist walking next to us. We count to 3, and my soldier shoots one bullet, kills him, he falls on the floor. And then we understand that this is a good solution. We're lying there in the bushes for 5 hours. From 11 until 3:30, we're in the bushes. After a couple hours, the terrorists understood they were ambushed, they don't know where we are, they were looking for us. They just left, they went to another place, or ran away, or went to another neighborhood. I do know that when we got there it was 11, and we know that from 11:30, no more people were kidnapped in Kfar Aza. So we're lying there, and I'm always thinking about my soldiers, like, what am I doing here? It's not the right place to be, not the right position for me to be now. And after, in 3:30 in the afternoon, suddenly I see some soldiers coming from Golani. I call the commander, I say, listen, you come here, switch me. You guys go in the bushes, you guys stay here. You guys guard the place. I have to go, I have soldiers, I have to leave. So I'm running out of the kibbutz, still full of terrorists there. And I get to the entrance of the kibbutz. I go in my car. My driver came back from the hospital already. I go in my car and I charge my phone. I have an iPhone. When you charge an iPhone, first thing you get like an Apple sign. And in the moment the phone turned on, I get a phone call. I answer the phone call, and on the other side there is an officer from my unit, and she doesn't say like, how are you? Or where were you? Or I'm happy you're alive. She says, your soldiers are in kibbutz Be'eri. 1 soldier is killed, 9 are wounded. Go there, they're waiting for you. That's what she says. Sharp, no emotions, and then she hangs up. I was very impressed. But the same day, everyone's very hysterical. She was very straight and said exactly the right things. And in the first 10 seconds, you don't really know what to think. Because when you're a commander in the IDF, you just did like everyone, keep on going. You never really imagined that you have a soldier going to get killed. It's very rare. It used to be very rare, fortunately, until October 7th. So for 10 seconds, I'm just thinking, and then I understand that we just have to have no place for emotions now, we have to keep on going. And she tells me, your soldiers are in kibbutz Be'eri, they're waiting for you, they need you. So I'm driving to kibbutz Be'eri. Kibbutz Be'eri, just to understand a little bit the images, the first circle up top, where it says 25, that is Kfar Aza. And my soldiers are in Be'eri. It's like a 3-minute drive. Kibbutz, Kfar Aza, and Be'eri are the two main places that were hurt in October 7th. The third place is the Nova Festival. That's a little bit south from Be'eri. It's all in the same area. So I drive to Kibbutz Be'eri, and I'm talking about 4 in the afternoon. And when I get there, you would imagine that 4 in the afternoon already, situation a little better, like something, people did stuff to make the situation better, but the answer is no. And 4, when I go in the entrance, there's no one there. I see some policemen, and they say, listen, you can't come in, it's very dangerous. I say, I know it's dangerous, I don't really want to come in, but it's my, that's what we do. He said, yeah, before 11 policemen came in and were killed. So I told him, yeah, but he didn't want me to go. I told him, I have soldiers inside, I'm going in. So we're going in. This is my men, in 11:30, or a little later, I think, 1:30, entrance of the kibbutz. You can see here, I put out some bad stuff that you won't see, but the right side you can see the burnt car, and this is my soldiers entering in 1:30 in the afternoon. There's no one there. Can't see anyone. The big question is who took the picture? Because I took my phone. The soldiers, I took all their phones. So one soldier wasn't so disciplined. That always happens. But I wasn't so angry because it was a great picture. So I said, you know what, it's the last time, but I like the picture. And he took the picture when my soldiers are entering the kibbutz. It's very important to understand. They don't know what's going on. They're going in, they said, okay, we're always imagined like 4 or 5, 6 terrorists maybe, imagine this kind of numbers and what's going on. This is a picture of kibbutz Be'eri in 140. This is my soldiers, this is my men on the right side. Until then, there were a couple of units, small units that fought, had a lot of casualties, a lot of people were killed. This is the first time 100 men are entering a kibbutz. It's totally different from 9 men. Because in the beginning there were units that came in and they had a soldier killed and a soldier wounded and they left. They were out of water or whatever. When 100 men come in, it's different. I want to explain to you what did the terrorists do at kibbutz Be'eri. It's actually right in a lot of places, but in Be'eri was very, very specific. The first thing they did is they captured the kibbutz. At 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, there's no more soldiers, they're all killed or whatever, and they captured the kibbutz. The second thing they did afterwards, they brought in their commando unit, the Nukhbot, to kibbutz Be'eri, and their mission was to ambush the IDF soldiers that are going to come. That was their plan. Very smart plan, and it worked for them. What happened is, you could see the houses of the kibbutz. All the houses in the kibbutzim look exactly the same. How does it look? It's small, usually the small house, so 1 floor. And every house, they have a shelter. What is a shelter? A shelter is a place where if they shoot rockets, you go in the shelter and you're safe. The second thing is, if there's terrorists going around, so you lock yourself in the shelter, you have a handle, and no one can enter the shelter. And they always knew about it, that if there's going to be a terror attack, they all go in the shelters. So what happens is, you have a house, we didn't know how much, but a lot of houses, that in the house you have a family, in the shelter, holding the handle, and in the same house, you have a bunch of terrorists that they can't enter the shelter, they can't go in, so they're waiting for the IDF soldiers who are supposed to come to rescue. So what happens is, you have these houses, lots of them, and you have like 300 or 400 terrorists. Try to imagine the number. like in this room, I think it's like 80 people or 70 people. 400 is 6 times this room. And they're waiting in every house for the IDF soldiers. Already in the beginning, my soldiers, they found this Israeli guy that ran away and is hiding in the bushes. And they understood what's going on a little bit, but didn't understand what's really going on. In the first house they tried to capture, they ambushed them, the Hamas ambushed my soldiers. And my soldier Eli, talk about him later, was killed right away. And 9 more soldiers were wounded. One of them was the officer that was in charge of that attack. And what happened was, when I get there, it takes me half an hour to find my men. No one knew where they are. I'm walking around in kibbutz Be'eri. I'm asking people, I see some soldiers, do you know where the paratroopers are? And they say, no idea. It's like, it sounds like a fantasy story, but it's totally real. Just walking around. After half an hour, I find my men. They're on the other side of the kibbutz. I see 4 or 5 soldiers on the floor getting treatment, health care treatment, and they're waiting for rescue. And another thing I see is a lot of soldiers of mine, like sitting on the grass, and they're just shocked. Just shocked. Just their faces are white, and they're just like, even when they see me come, you would imagine they're excited, our commander came, but they don't even have any emotion. They're just like looking, staring at each other. They are the soldiers that their officer was wounded. The moment their officer was wounded, they just got into a shock. And I see 6 or 7 soldiers that actually, they're not really fighting, but they're guarding my soldiers. And my whole unit, my whole company are just in one big shock, because the soldier was killed, a lot are wounded, and it's not what they expected. They didn't think that's what they're going to handle now. So I'm standing there, and the first thing I do is I call my commanders. I talk with my commanders. I try to understand what happened until now, what do they need, like, just to talk with them, to cheer them up a little bit. And then comes a miracle. I don't know from where, it's a real story. Suddenly comes a tank. Sounds like a movie from the 70s, but suddenly comes a tank. Out of the tank jumps a Druze officer. I didn't know that he's an officer. His name is Salman. Salman was killed 3 months afterwards in war. And Salman was a battalion commander. He's above. I didn't know that. So he comes to me and he says, nice to meet you, my name is Salman. I drove all the way from Tselim down to the desert to here with a tank, because I know what's happening. And I'm here for you. Tell me what you need, I'll do everything. That's the best thing ever I could get, you know. It can't get better than a tank. Israeli tank is great. And so I tell him no problem, go back to the tank and go on my radio, I could get my orders. And then I get to a decision, because my soldiers explained to me, listen, we're ambushed. There's tons of terrorists here. We can't really, if we're gonna keep on fighting like this, we're gonna lose 20 soldiers. Keep on until we're not gonna win. We can't win like this. And then I get to a conclusion that because the house are the 2 houses together, and in one house, when you come from the right side, so always the shelter of the house is in the right side and in the left side. And so I know for sure, in fact, we have Jews in the shelters and terrorists in the middle. So I decide that we should shoot 1 missile exactly in the middle of the house, because there's no chance there's any Jews in this. They're 100% in the mamad, in the shelter. So I tell that to the officer, and he says, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't shoot in a house. We never even imagined something like that, to fight in a house." And then I go up to the tank, explain to him why do I think this, give him enough confidence, and then we do it. We shoot a missile in the house, Afterwards, we capture the house, and we see an amazing thing. We see 4 or 5 dead terrorists on the floor. And then we get to the shelter. In the beginning, we would try to open, they don't open the door. They don't believe us. These people, to understand, they're 12 hours in the shelter. From the moment they woke up, in their underwear, they ran to the shelter, and they're locked there, and they are for hours holding the handle. The terrorist won't go in. And I'm telling them, listen, I'm an Israeli commander. They say, we don't believe you. Tell them, Shema Israel, try saying things. After 20 minutes, they compromise. They open the door, and then you see a mother, father, grandmother, 2 kids, and a dog, just shocked in their underwear, going out of the house, and they just don't know what happened. They don't know. They just hearing shootings for hours, and they don't know what's going on. And I understand this is the right way to fight here, even though we never ever practiced shooting tanks in Israeli kibbutz. But in this situation, it's the only way we could do it. But we're keeping on going, and we're going to keep on capturing the houses. In every house we capture, there is a family, and we rescue the family. Sometimes people imagine that in a war, you'll have a lot of energies. It's a war now, we have energies. It's wrong, it's 100% upside down. Because of the high adrenaline, you could suddenly just fall asleep. People are just exhausted. My soldiers didn't eat from 7 in the morning till now. We're talking about 7 or 8 at night already. 13 hours. But every time we capture a house and we take out a family, we get a little bit more energies for the next house because people are stuck there. I want to talk about 2 very intelligent soldiers I had. I think it's important to share. So as you imagine, every house we capture, it's actually, we break down the house, right? It's totally burnt, we throw our hand grenades, it became a battlefield. I had a soldier, no, I didn't tell him to do that, he decided by his own. Every house we left, he left a letter in Hebrew. I'm going to translate to you. He wrote like this: Dear family, we are the paratroopers of 890 unit. Thank you for your hospitality in your house. We're so sorry on all the damage, but it was for a good purpose. Am Yisrael Chai. And every house he put this. I only saw it afterwards, and I thought about it. I said, what a smart soldier. We're doing our best just to save their lives, but we still feel uncomfortable to destroy someone's house. And the second thing was when we were, every time we took a family, so we had like a unit that came to take the family and walk them out of the kibbutz to whatever, to a hotel, I don't know where they went to. And what happened is you have so much people that were killed and murdered on the way. So people are walking and they suddenly see their cousin, their neighbor, their best friend. And my soldier saw that. He's an 18-year-old guy, super bright. And he went in one of the houses, took a bunch of blankets, and then he put on all the bodies a blanket. But when a kid, after 12 hours of hell, is stuck in this house, he has to walk. He's not going to see his uncle, his cousin, or his friend on the floor. So we're fighting for almost 24 hours in a row, without any breaks. We captured the whole neighborhood. 2 o'clock in the morning, we captured the last house. Out of the house, we find a woman and her daughter, Sigal and Noah. We rescue them. And then we understand how tired we are. And I give an order to everyone. Now everyone goes to sleep. Everyone. Just lie on the floor, go to sleep. Because we're not robots. We need energies. And I put in we have 3 teams. So every team is in one house. Everybody goes to sleep. You put 1 guard at the entrance because there's still terrorists running around. But you can't fight forever. 6 in the morning, they wake me up, my commander, and tells me that we have intelligence that a bunch of terrorists got in the night from Gaza. They got to kibbutz Be'eri again. And now we have to capture the whole neighborhood again. The good news, there's no Jews in the houses. So it's more simple. The bad news, we're really tired. But what can we do? We got new equipment at 6 in the morning. First time we ate, we drank water. My soldier got energies. And I woke everyone up. And we're all high motivated, even though we're a little tired. And we start doing it. We capture all the houses again. It's for like 40 houses. It takes a whole day. But we do it, so starting after 20 houses, 25 houses, it becomes faster and faster because really, we didn't see anything until then. And almost in the last house, I don't know where they got from, I don't know where they came from, but 13 terrorists hid in that house, even though we were there before, so they probably came afterwards, and they were ambushing us, they were waiting for us. And the main way they do is they just aim for the door. They're waiting in one of the rooms and they're aiming for the door, and if they see a soldier, they shoot them. And my officer was the first one to go in the house. He got shot in the leg. He fell. And when we tried to rescue him, one of the soldiers tried to rescue him, tried to push him out. He got a bullet and was killed on the spot right away. And after it takes us a while, and we have a couple soldiers that are wounded in that case, and we kill all the terrorists. And after 3 days of intense fighting, like imagine like it's nothing close to it, nothing I could explain to you that you understand. It's just like it's like a movie. It doesn't feel real. After 3 days, we get I tell my commander, listen, kibbutz Be'eri is done. We finished. We're ready. That's it. And you should know in the army, you never have breaks in the army, and no one ever says, "Oh, good job, wow." It's like, "Oh, okay, now your new mission is that," or so army just keeps on going all the time. I actually think it's a mistake. I think soldiers should tell them. I always tell my soldiers, "Thank you for what you're doing." It's not. I don't take it as a. Yeah. So he tells me, okay, there is a kibbutz called Kibbutz Alumim. It's a little north from Be'eri. Now your mission is to go there and guard the kibbutz. That's your mission, simple mission. Go to the kibbutz, guard the kibbutz. And every time when we do a mission, I talk with my soldiers before I explain to them what we're doing, whatever. And we're going on the bus. It's a 5-minute drive. And then I'm asking myself, what do I say to my soldiers? What do you say after these 3 crazy days? It's like one big, long nightmare. But you have to talk with them. We have to keep on going. And here I would like to ask you guys, beautiful audience, what would you say? And I would like to, yeah, please, don't be shy.
Like, I'm sorry, and I'm happy that you are here with us.
So it says, I'm sorry for what happened.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here, and let's keep on going.
בוא נהיה חזקים בשביל אלו שכן נשארו.
Let's be strong for the people who survived.
People that survived.
Okay, yes please.
Well,
What's your name?
I live in Israel.
Oh.
They call me Kayla here.
Kayla.
And I remember...
Where in Israel?
I live in the center of Tel Aviv.
Oh, beautiful.
And I remember for me it was about 6:30 in the morning, October 7th. And I would say, Am Yisrael Chai. I would just...
Say Am Yisrael Chai.
Yeah.
It gives them motivation, and that's it?
I would hug a lot. I would... I would. Yeah.
It'll be hard. Okay. More. Yeah, Rabbi.
This is an historic moment. You're protecting the whole of Am Yisrael, and they're looking to you to...
Am Yisrael is looking at you guys.
You have the weight of the Jewish people on your shoulders now.
Okay. More. Yeah, please. Your name?
My Hebrew name is Moshe. They call me Jack.
Whatever you want.
I would say take a knee, sip some water, do some tobacco, have a little cigarette, have some dip. I'm not
Chill
sure
out.
about that. Try to chill out, and then just remember, like, this is your job. You know, about to go. Did you have more houses to clear after that?
I don't know.
Yeah, just like, hey, we gotta be ready for the next mission, so, you know. it's a
Let's
job.
chill out a little bit, smoke a cigarette, drink your water, be
Yeah.
ready for the next mission.
Yeah, be like the Hamashi.
I like it. Yeah, please.
אבל
What's your name?
אלונית,
Alumit?
כן. אנחנו גם כן, we were also...
Israelis?
ישראלי, כן. גם כן היינו בישראל באוקטובר 7th. We were also there on October 7th. I'm thinking about this...
British?
I am. Also thinking about this situation, and I would be like, you know, soldiers, we've come this far, we've seen some really hard things, we've struggled through some hard things, but we have more to do. So like you said, let's get some food, a little bit of water, let's go do, we still have things to do, you know, for Am Yisrael.
I like it. More. You're all heroes. Compliment them.
ולא להתייאש בעולם, כי בזכותכם יש את השמירה הזאת.
You're saying like to explain to them how important what they're doing.
Yeah, what they did is what, yeah.
More.
There are no words,
Just not say anything.
to be honest. No, say like, I don't,
Give them a hug.
I don't even know what to do.
No, I'm serious.
Like words can't even, sometimes you just, there aren't words.
So I'll tell you what I said. Before I'll tell you what I said, I'll say a few words about my soldiers that were killed. So this is Eli. Eli is a French lonely soldier. Eli was supposed to finish the service 2 weeks before. I sent him for a month to France. I gave him a month off to meet his mother, to be with his family. And after a month, he called me and he said he wants to come back. I said, listen, you don't need to come back. You have 2 more weeks. Alai, we say in Hebrew, alai. You get 2 more weeks from me. And he says, listen, I want to be with my friends in a week of war. But I told him, it's not so exciting as you guys think. It's just a week, you know, who cares? He says, no, I want to be. And he argued with me. So I did what I could do, and we signed him for 2 more weeks that he could come, and he came. And October 7th, he was the first soldier in front line. And he was the first soldier that was killed in the battle in the first house what I talked about.
Will you explain what a lone soldier is?
A lone soldier is a soldier that decides, even though he lives out of Israel and doesn't have to serve, he decides for his reasons to come to Israel and to be part of the Jewish people and to guard the Jewish people. And he always did it with a very big smile. The second soldier is Ariel Ohana, beautiful smile. Ariel Ohana is I have an interesting story about this guy because I got to my position after 8 months that the soldiers were already in the army, and he always had a name of a bad soldier. What is a bad soldier? Soldier the commanders don't like because he always does trouble to them and he always argues and always has something to say. As commanders, we always prefer everyone. We always prefer people that are easier. He wasn't easy. Every time something looked not good to him, he used to say, he used to talk about it. And every time they used to send him out for like a 2 weeks mission somewhere else. They never really fired him, but he was never really in the unit. They always sent him out to other missions. And when I came in position, the first thing you do when you come to a new position, you talk with all the soldiers. So I have 120 soldiers, 10 minutes a soldier. If someone knows math, you can tell me how long it took me. But it took me for like 2 weeks. And every talk, and when you come to a new position, you come as motivation. You want to train your soldiers, and then you sit down, becomes a soldier, and I'll tell you a secret: soldiers always complain. Always, doesn't matter what happens. You give them a hamburger, they say there was no ketchup. You give everything, doesn't matter what happens, they will always complain. That's part of their mentality. And when a new commander comes, you complain more because it's an opportunity to get a new position, to move to somewhere else. It's an opportunity to complain. Every time they can complain, they complain. And I'm like sitting with 20 soldiers, 25, 30 soldiers, I'm like, whoa, everyone's so bad, like everyone's so upset with her, like what's going on? But I'm like, okay, I'm writing down. And then comes this guy with a smile. He sits down and says, Nehemia, I know everyone told you I'm a bad soldier. I know. But I'll tell you, the truth is I was a bad soldier. But I want to be a good soldier. I want to be a good soldier, and I want to do the best I can and stay. So this was the first soldier that came to my office and said he wants to stay in the unit. He was proud of it. And he was in unit number 2. When the machine gun soldier of unit number 1 was wounded, right away he jumped in to switch him to be the front lines. He was killed on October 8th. So I'm going back to my question. I asked you what would you say, and I'm saying I had 5 minutes to decide. Just driving and like, what do you do? And no one ever trains you you never get trained to what to talk with soldiers after this kind of situations. So I sit down, put everyone on the grass, and then I tell them, listen, in Jewish tradition, when someone dies, we do a funeral, right? In one hand, I'm thinking about, I don't want my unit to collapse for over emotion. People will start being emotion. But in second thought, people are human beings. They need place for their emotions. You can't just say, okay, we'll keep on going. So I told them, now we're going to have 2 hours of a funeral. We're going to talk about our friends that were killed. You guys could cry. We could do whatever you want. But in 2 hours from now, I'm going to stop. It's going to be time out, and we're going on. And that's what happened. So for 2 hours, everyone, including me, were all crying and talking and sharing. And afterwards, I tell them, after 2 hours, I say, guys, time out. We did very important historical mission until now, but we all know we're going to get a war probably soon in Gaza. We didn't know, we thought it was going to be like 1 or 2 days because we have to go rescue the hostages. No one really told us what's going on because no one really knew. I told them from now on, until the last day of war, no one cries anymore. Now we work. And I see in my soldiers' eyes, when you talk with people, you can see in their eyes if they understand you and they got it, and I see they got it. They had enough place, they had 2 hours to share a little bit of their emotions, and we're keeping on going. I have to say, I was very scared giving them place for emotions because I know other units, mainly units that were on the board on October 7th, they just collapsed the gauntlet. Everybody left. It's very hard. But my soldiers, this is a moment where we became a family. This is a moment where everyone felt that we have the same destiny, we're together. And from now on, every day we think we're going to Gaza tomorrow to fight. So we have to practice. So what we do is, for 3 weeks, until we get the order, November 5 is the first day we're going to go to Gaza. For 3 weeks, we practice. How do we practice? We wake up every morning at 6 o'clock. We'll practice till 10 o'clock at night in a row. There's no breaks. 2 breaks of dinner and lunch, 1 hour. And 10 o'clock at night, they all come to me. I give them their phones. They have 1 hour to talk with their girlfriend, mother, grandmother, whatever they want. 11:00, all the phones are back in my office. And we go to sleep, we wake up at 6. Why do we do this? The truth is, I was never in Gaza. None of my soldiers were never in Gaza. None of my commanders were in Gaza. It's, I'll say it we weren't afraid, but we were stressful. It's not so easy. We want to make sure we're ready. So for 3 weeks we're practicing. My soldiers are all cursing me all the time because they want to rest. But I tell them, guys, we're keeping on training until we'll be ready. And November 4, we get the order. This is a picture I took. The bold guy ruined the picture, but he just did his job, so it's fine. I'm not angry with him. But what you see here is 3,500 paratroopers. In the right side, next to the flags, there is a division commander talking with us. Does anyone remember what he said? The answer is no. No one hurt him. But, so why do we do this? Because when soldiers, before the war, when they see each other, they get power. This is power. You see 3,500 young guys, high motivation, all ready for the fight. It gives them motivation. This is 4 November. November 5, this is me giving a talk to my soldiers. This is next to the Gaza border. The first time I go to Gaza. Before I talked, I said to myself, what a weird life. Like I read books, like this is a Bible story. Like before the war, we talk with, like I never imagined I'm supposed to speak with these guys before we go to war. And I thought what to say. And I said, these people, we talked so much to them, we have to make it short. Can't always just talk and talk. I said very simple. Listen guys, you guys are ready. We practice you're well trained. We're doing history. We're going to bring back the hostages. We're going to do the most important thing you could ever do. There's nothing else in your life that would be more important that you could do than this. And secondly, I said, I understand you guys are a little scared, okay, or stressful, or whatever is the right word exactly. But you should know that if you guys are going to listen to me and do exactly what I said and be high disciplined, you have a very bigger chance to survive. That's what I said. And that's what we do. We entrance Gaza. This is our first day in the beautiful beaches of Gaza. When I was a kid, before Israel in 2004, I think, gave back all the five. Before Israel gave back Gush Katif, my father used to take us all the time. I remember it was a very, and I liked it. I used to be here in this place exactly. It's amazing. It was the best beaches. It's still the best beaches. And we got here, we started our fight, and I'll say that the first few days are, I don't know if you saw that I don't talk about politics, but there was this video of Donald Trump with the AI about Trump Gaza. So this is Trump Gaza. This is the Riviera he wants to build on. He knows some stuff about real estate. It's a nice place. And the first days are stressful because everything you do is the first time. The first time you capture a house, the first time suddenly you see a booby trap, the first time we work with the dogs, we have our dogs, I'll show it later. Everything is new. After a few days, it sounds a little weird to say it, but it's the only way I could explain to you, it became a little bit like a day of work. What is a day of work? A person wakes up at 6 in the morning, brushes his teeth, makes a short breakfast, goes to work, comes back in the evening, makes a dinner, and goes to sleep. That's how our life started to look like. The war, the Gaza war before was like 25 days. No one imagined, I didn't imagine, that I'll be here for a year. 350 days here. And it just became our like a day of work. People felt already, after a couple of days better, people felt we're doing the right thing every time we go. We find a place with guns, we find tunnels, we're looking for hostages. We're all feeling we're doing the right things. And after 14 days, we're all sitting, every team is in one house. And then suddenly I hear an explosion. And in Gaza we hear a lot of explosions all the time. All the time explosions from Air Force, all the time explosions. Every time we hear an explosion, I check in my radio, I check with my soldiers that everyone's fine. I go to Officer 1, I tell him, Officer 1, are you all your men fine? He says, yeah. Every soldier has a number. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, he says, I'm fine. Officer 2 is fine. And then Officer 3 saying, Nehemia, listen, I don't have 2 soldiers. I don't know where they are. So I say, what do you mean? He says, I said, it can't be. Look for them, find them. He said, I don't know where they are. And I get this bad feeling. And I run over, we're 3 different houses. I run over to that house. And I go up 3 floors. And what happened was, a tank of Golani, from Israeli tank, drove by, and for a reason we will never know, decided to shoot a missile in my soldier's house. this is what we call friendly fire, or I call it unfriendly fire. But we go up 3 rooms, three floors. 2 of my soldiers, I went up there to the bathroom. That was my order. They do the bathroom in a different room, a different floor. I had no way to survive from an Israeli tank shoots at you, you can't survive. So that is the first moment for me. After I already lost 2 soldiers, now I lose 2 more. That's the first moment for me that I said to myself, like, I don't know if I could take it anymore. Napoleon, famous general, said, don't give me good commanders, give me commanders with luck. He always said that, with good luck. And I said to myself, you know what, I don't have good luck. I'm doing my best. I really am doing my best. I'm trying to do the best work. And this is what happens. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, not so focused. And I'm thinking of going downstairs and telling my commander, I'm leaving. Someone else will switch me, someone who's better luck than me. And right when I go down the stairs, the division commander, he came there because he understood about the accident. He took me to a room, closed the door, and he said, listen, Nehemia, this is the moment, exactly the moment, where everyone is looking at you. Everyone. If you're going to collapse, your whole unit is going to be broken. If you're going to be sharp, if you're going to be leader, they'll go straight after you, forever. That's what he said. And then he gave me a very strong slap in the face, and left. I'll tell you something about slaps in the face. In the army, everyone gives slaps in the face to their soldiers, because the soldier can't really do anything about it. He can't bring you back a slap, and he can't go to the police. So it's Israeli culture. So he gives me a slap, and I say, 1 second, like, what happened? Explain to me. He said, he just goes like this, goes out of the door and disappears. And I think about it a couple minutes, and I understand, he's right. I can't let my emotions control me. And then I go and give a talk. Each unit have 3 different units. I talk with every unit, and I talk with them, I explain to them what happened, and I try to give them motivation. And then when I get to the 3rd unit, the unit where my soldiers were killed, when I finish speaking, one of the soldiers tells me, listen, Nehemia, we don't want to fight anymore. We don't want to fight anymore. You told us that if we're going to do what you say, we're going to be fine. Like, where's that? Smart guy, good question. So before I give an answer, I try to think before, because I just don't want to say nonsense. And then I told him, listen, everyone in this room, this beautiful shul, came here by car. Mostly came by car. And all of you know that every day in Israel, 1 person gets killed in a car accident. Every day. We have like 360 people dying a year in car accidents. But still, we all drive cars. Why? Why do we still drive cars?
Want to get to places.
Right, but we drive the cars even though we know we get killed. I told
Because
him.
we don't think it'll happen to us.
So that's also a good answer. I'll tell you what I said. I said, accidents are not going to avoid our life. We can't live by accidents. If accidents happen, it's part of the life. You can't avoid life. I told him, listen, the 2 soldiers that were killed, it's an accident. It's an accident. It's not supposed to happen. It's a very rare accident. It doesn't happen a lot. But this is not going to avoid us from bringing back the hostages. You can't just stop. And he accepted it. I don't know why. And he kept on going. These are my 2 soldiers. This is Yinon Tamir and Dvir Barazani. Yinon Tamir, say a short sentence about him, he was a leader. He was a leader that wasn't a commander. He was very strong, and what happened is, every time soldiers had a complaint, I told you they have a lot of complaints, like tons of them, they always come to him. He writes down all the complaints, and then he comes to me. Because they were all afraid for me, but he wasn't afraid. He didn't care. He didn't look at. He didn't care. I'm a captain. He's a soldier. He comes and he said, "Listen, Nehemia, we're very upset with A, B, and C, and we want to change that." And every time it made sense, I changed it. So this guy had a lot of power, and everybody listened to him. And second soldier, Dvir Barazani, this picture I took the day before he was killed. I went up the stairs, and the way how we work in Gaza is we have a house, and we have to guard the house all the time. But if you want the soldier to be focused on the mission, it's very hard to guard for hours and hours and hours. We put a chair in the side, and then the soldier could sit on the chair, and that's what he does. They sit there for 2 hours, they guard, and then they switch. And I come up the stairs, first of all I see this guy smiling, and he's with a big machine gun, and he's lying on the floor. And I'm telling him, like, why are you lying on the floor? It's not comfortable for you. It's very heavy, you have all the stuff on you, it's very hard to, on the floor. You should sit in the chair. He said, Nehemia, this is the best way to guard, my friends. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know, I don't care, it's not easy to do this. It's the best way, and I don't know why you're letting the other soldiers to sit on the chair. This is the right way to do it. And he was so, also you could see in his smile, he was so happy to be part of this historical event. So we're keeping on going. This is a picture that I took in one of the houses of Gaza. I love playing the piano. And I saw a piano, I told my soldier to take a picture of me. And after 86 days of war, we go home. What is the only topic soldiers talk about in war? Who knows? The only topic.
Food? No, food.
Their mother's food. The only topic. They don't talk. You never hear soldiers talking about philosophy, sometimes they also talk about top model girls, and about their mother's food. The only thing, for 86 days I get crazy. I just walk, every place I walk, they say, I want the couscous, I want my mother's schnitzel, my grandmother makes the best skube, and that's what they talk about. And after 86 days, so excited, we're going home. We all go, we get home on Thursday. Friday morning, we wake up. I put all my soldiers on the bus, they go home. I go in my car, we drive, I'm happy, I have 2 days home. And then I get a phone call from a soldier. What does he say? I want to come back.